The opinions and views expressed in the following program are those of the speakers and the host, and do not necessarily reflect those of Yoakley Scott Corporation and Your Sports Network.
Yeah, I've been closer to Jesus before, so can you help me out? Oh, can you help me out? Am I on my own? Am I on my own? Or can you help me out? Am I on my own? Am I on my own? Or can you help me out? Can you help me out? I've been scared to look in my soul. I've been afraid I would follow the road. Yeah, afraid of the things I've been told.
Hello, everybody. Welcome inside a Wednesday episode of Running Point on ysnlive.com. As always, we are brought to you by our good friends above our heads over there at Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown. It's a Wednesday, so you know what that means. Brian Tolnar, the golf guru expert from Mill Creek Metro Parks, comes and joins us. Brian, how we doing this week?
We are doing really, really good. So we're excited. Talk about another week of golf and a lot of action here with high school matches and invitationals and a lot of good things happening both on the boys and girls side of the sport.
Absolutely. And one of the programs I wanted to bring up that seems like it's really hitting its stride right now, Cardinal Mooney. I mean, they have a reigning state champion in Rocco Turner, and they just won the Ysn Invitational a couple of days ago, finished first among 19 teams, swept all the top spots. I want to read off these scores here. Rocco Turner continued his stellar season, carrying a 3 under 68. Alec Eckstein went with a 73. Dante Turner had a 74. And this team score of 300, and that beat University School, which is a Division I school, a big Division I school. They beat them by a 2-stroke margin. So Mooney gets the win in their rival invitational of Ysn Invitational down there. When you see, obviously we all know about Rocco Turner, what he's doing, but his teammates around him, and they're all starting to hit their stride. How good is this Mooney team from what you've seen this year?
I think what's fascinating about Mooney is, yes, they are great from the top few spots there, but they're starting to get a lot of better play out of the 4, the 5, the 6 player spot too. So everybody's starting to elevate their game as those players continue to go low and continue to play well and put their team in good position, which is very important when you're heading into the final part of the season, because all the tiebreakers really depend on that 5th score, and all the tiebreakers during matches depend on that, possibly that 6th score. So, based on, where you're at, you want those players who are underclassmen to really start to play well. And, I've started to watch how their 4, 5, and 6 have been playing, in particular, and they've starting to play extremely well. The scores keep getting lower for them as well, which is only going to help them out come, sectionals, districts, and regionals. And to top it all off, we know that they won the Ursuline Invitational, but they also just won the Bishop's Cup yesterday at Windmill Lakes, and all 4 scores were phenomenal in that aspect too. So, they continue to play well. The underclassmen continue to step up their game, and they're really, coming off of, what the Turner brothers and the Eckstein kid is doing. They're playing well, but they're also getting a lot out of the 4, 5, and 6 player on the roster as well, which is awesome. When you talk about high school golf, because you need that depth.
When you have teammates like that, like the top 3 that are doing what they're doing and obviously doing things the right way with Rocco Turner, we've talked to him last year. We've talked to him during basketball season. We know that he puts in the work and he does everything kind of the right way. When you have teammates like that raising the bar, how much easier does that make the 4, 5, and 6 guys to go out there and do their work and do what they're supposed to do? And like you said, put up really important scores when you talk about the team matches.
Well, I think what's nice about, them is like any level of golfer, whether you're playing junior golf, high school golf, collegiate golf, or professional golf for that matter, when you're paired with the better players and you're playing a lot of golf with good players, you tend to elevate your game and you get the best out of your game. And I think that that's what you're seeing here from the 4, 5, and 6 spot. They continue to get better week after week. They're playing with great competition, so they know they have to elevate their game, and they know they have to put in the time and effort that the 1, 2, and 3 players put into that lineup. So I think from top to bottom, by the end of the year, you want to continue to take steps on that ladder as you start the season, and really you want to peak mid-September, October, when the sectionals, districts, and the state tournament is in mid-October, late October. So I think they're doing the necessary things to get better. They practice hard. We see them out here quite a bit, obviously being one of their home courses that they play out of. So, that, and a lot of them are members at the area clubs, whether it's Tippecanoe or the Lake Club. So they're getting a lot of practice time at very good golf courses to the point where you feel comfortable on the course. Plus the underclassmen are starting to gel with the momentum of the upperclassmen and the elite players on this team. So I think it's phenomenal what Cardinal Mooney's been able to do with Coach Bellino and hosting their invitational here and doing the things that they do from a program perspective. There's a lot of good golf getting played right now in the Mahoning Valley. You've got Poland breaking records for their school. You got Canfield breaking records for their school and invitationals. There's a lot on both the boys and girls side here locally that it's going to get tight coming down the stretch when it's time for when you're fighting for those 3, sometimes 4 spots at sectionals, districts, and trying to put a good state campaign from our area together.
When Rocco Turner wins state, that's great, but the old adage is with success comes a lot of pressure. And I'm sure in the offseason, a lot of people were asking him from the outside, how are you going to repeat? What are you going to do to repeat this year? And he hasn't let any of the noise face him. He's having another great season. What have you seen from Rocco Turner elevating his game even more after one state championship a year ago?
Well, number one, he's steady. I mean, he's going to be anywhere from that probably 67, 68 to 72, 73. He's going to fall in that general scoring area. And I think his ability to go low is not only going to, obviously help him as an individual, but really help his team of, where you have a freshman or a sophomore in that 4, 5, and 6 spot, where you're trying to jockey a shot or two, the lower he can go, the higher that position can go. So, if he can shoot 67, 68, 69 consistently, it doesn't put as much pressure on that, 4th and 5th player score. So I think what he's going to be able to do is just build upon what he started last year and, the last couple years through junior golf. And I think, it's really going to catapult his team. And again, his biggest key, for being successful as from a team perspective is how much sub 70 rounds he can go and how many under par 2, 3, 4 under can he get it to really alleviate the pressure off the back part of the lineup.
Want to shine a light on one of our smaller schools as well, and one of the best smaller school programs we've had over the last couple of years. Waterloo Golf continues to play well. They beat Mineral Ridge yesterday, 181-184, to stay undefeated inside that MVAC. Got Trevor Simons led them with a 44, and then Jackson Eichler had a 45. They were also had scores of 45 and 47. When you're playing league play and you're a smaller school, we've talked about smaller schools before, you might not have the opportunity to put everybody in sectionals and districts, but when you have 2 or 3 guys that are really putting it up there, what's that mean for a program to continue to find success and to continue to have guys like Trevor Simons and Jackson Eichler go out there and raise the bar for your program, just like we're talking about what the top 3 are doing for Mooney, but doing it for a program that's a smaller school trying to build interest in their golf program going forward?
Well, I think consistency is the key. You read some scores off there. They're all from 1 to 4, very consistent in a very, very narrow number. Like Cardinal Mooney, when you have a couple guys that can really light it up, it takes the pressure off the other 2 scores that you're counting in those matches because you're taking 4 scores out of 6. So I think the steadiness that they have between 1, 2, 3, and 4 certainly gives them plenty of opportunities. And like anything, whether you're at a small school or big school, it's how much time and it's how much effort that you're putting in. There was a great golfer here in the Bourbon area when I was in high school. She played at Boardman High School. Her name was Kelly Cap, and she ended up being an All-American at Methodist University down in North Carolina. And she'd come home and practice, and we'd have the opportunity to practice with her a little bit because she went to the same pro that was in my hometown and worked with a guy named Dave Collar. So I got to play 9 holes a couple days a week, got to watch her practice, got to chip and putt with her. And I think attitude is a lot of it too, because when you're at a smaller school like Methodist, you think about, there's not too many opportunities that give you the door at being on the LPGA tour or playing very high quality amateur golf. But with Kelly, her mindset was always, I'm just as good as everybody else is here. I'm just as smart as they are in the classroom. I put in as much time, if not more, on and off the golf course, whether it be working out or playing and practicing. And I think you have to have that mindset. Just because your school's small, that's not an excuse for, playing poorly. But I think it's the time and the effort that you put in and the mindset. Everybody has the same opportunity come sectionals, districts, and in the state tournament. Everything's pretty much set at zero. That the season's over. One of the things that I dislike about high school golf is your record in the league doesn't really mean much as you go into sectionals, because everybody has a shot at sectionals, districts, and all of that. So it's a great reset. So you have to basically put away both parts of the season. One, your high school match season is one entity, and you want to do well, and you want to win your conference, and you want to be on the league team at the end of the year. And then, what we're in essence calling the playoffs or sectionals and districts, there's that half of the season where everything's on the line. And that's the true meaning of how you're measured as a golfer. If you win a state championship, it far outweighs, winning a league title or being the medalist of your league. So, having those two separate seasons, are very, very separate when it comes to playing high school golf in Northeastern Ohio. So I think once you set that aside and you go to that next level, everybody has a shot. Everybody can be good in sectionals, in districts, and so on down the line, and get hot at the right time. And that's really when you want to peak, that latter part of September, heading into early October. I think it gives yourself an opportunity, and having the ability to play in some of these 18-hole invitationals. A lot of schools are hosting these now. When I started, we laugh. We had the Cardinal Classic, which is, run by Cardinal Mooney High School. I played in the first one 30 years ago. I didn't realize it was that long until I saw the trophy. It's at 30th annual. But I mean, that was the only thing that we had as a measuring stick for 18 holes in high school golf, because everything at that point was 9-hole matches after school, and you played 18 or 20 of them throughout the course of the year, home and away. Now you have all these high school invitationals. You got the Bishop's Cup. Ursuline has one. Canfield has one. The girls team has one. Pretty much every team in our valley hosts these 18-hole events. So they really give you the ability to build stamina to play 18 holes, which is what's asked of you come sectionals, districts, and your state tournament time. So it's the folks that have played a lot of 18-hole junior tournaments, collegiate tournaments, and high school tournaments throughout the summer that give you the opportunity to know what to expect, because 9 holes is very different. A lot of things happen differently in 9 holes than they do in over 18 holes. So I think having those opportunities to be able to play 18-hole championships are vital to the success of being a real opponent that has a shot at these, sectionals, districts, and state tournaments.
Congratulations as well to Waterloo's Preston White, who made his varsity debut in this match, and that's a very important MVAC match to make your debut. And Brian, do you remember your varsity debut, and what kind of things went through your mind when you first stepped on that varsity course and you realized like the level's up and this is varsity play and everything that goes with it?
I'm not quite sure that I remember it. I remember putting in all the time and all the practice in the summers of hitting golf balls and trying to make the lineup, because our team was very tough to make. It only had 8 players on it. We had 2 sophomores, 2 juniors, 2 seniors, 2 freshmen. 10 players, and 2 at large, which were generally going to be, juniors and seniors. So I had the opportunity to make it as a freshman and played in, I want to say, all but 2 matches my freshman year, and had the opportunity to letter. But it was very important. I mean, golf was different back then because, like I said, we played all these high school 9-hole matches, and that was pretty much the extent of it. And then he had the opportunity to play at Avalon Lakes was our sectional, and districts were at Windmill Lakes before going to Scarlet. And we had the opportunity to do that my sophomore year as a team. But you remember all the things and all the stuff that you did to get ready and to prepare. More so for me, because I enjoyed that end of it. I enjoyed practicing and the prep work and plotting out the course of what club selection was going to be, where you need to leave it if you miss a green. It has to be on a side where you can get it up and down with ease, as opposed to missing it long over a green that slopes away from you, where the challenge of getting it up and down is a little bit tougher. So thinking your way around the golf course was probably a little bit more important back then. Now these kids bomb it. When I started playing, we had persimmon woods up until my sophomore year, that's when the steelheads came in, and they were about the size of your thumbnail. Now your 7 woods as big as your fist. So I mean, it's crazy, the equipment in the golf ball that's available now. So I mean, golf was completely different back then, but I really enjoyed the prep and getting ready and the practices and putting in the time and effort. So when you did get into matches, you could perform at your highest level. And I really enjoyed performing and competing. And I made a lot of friends with it. It then was the TAC 8 conference. Pretty much every team in our league we played junior golf with all summer long. So you had those relationships, and it was a lot of fun. I mean, you left school, you went to the golf course, you hit balls, and got yourself ready, and then you went out and had your match and got home, did your homework, and went to bed and put it on repeat for about 3 months. So it was a lot of fun, and I won't take anything away from any high school golfer, because it's a lot of fun, but it is a lot of time and a lot of effort, probably more so than some of the other fall sports. Soccer, you have practice for an hour, you have a game for 2 hours or what have you. Golf, it's really, you do have a time restriction on your practices, but when practice is over, you can stick around, you can still hit another bucket of balls, you can still chip and putt for another hour, as long as your grades are good and you're getting your homework done and everything's done on the academic side. There's a lot of time in the day to get better and prepare, more so than football and soccer and some of the other sports down the line.
High school golf is heating up, and we'll definitely keep an eye on it as it continues. Brian, every week we want to give you the chance to update us on Mill Creek and what's going on down there, and kind of the week that was and the week that will be, going on down there at Mill Creek Park. So give us a little bit of update on what's going on and what's going to be happening in the following week.
Well, we just wrapped up a bunch of high school matches. I bet you we had 4 last night, 3 the night before. So we're right in the season of these 9-hole matches for the high school teams. And, being a host of 9 schools from the high school level here, there's a lot going on. We're preparing for the Youngstown State Kickoff Classic, which is this weekend coming up. They'll have teams in town on Friday and a one-day tournament on Saturday, really to kickstart their season before they play the Roseanne Schwartz Invitational in a couple weeks. We've got the All-American Conference Championship here on the 12th. It's the first year we've been able to host them, so we're excited, looking forward to that as well. And then golf leagues are just about a week or two from wrapping up and heading their seasons into the playoffs. As they trickle out towards the end of September, we pick up with a lot of golf outings. We really overload in the spring and the fall when the weather kind of gets dicey. So we do a lot of golf outings on Friday, Saturdays, and Sundays. And pretty much from this point on, we'll have something on Friday, Saturday, Sunday here at Mill Creek at the golf course until, probably late October. And then we wrap things up with our Snowbird Scramble in November, usually around the 15th. I think this year's the 14th. But a lot of good things happening. Par 3 course has been flourishing and been super busy. We've got some fall middle school leagues going to start down there with some area middle schools, with some high school coaches when the season's done. So, I mean, it's great to see that. It's great to see programs building beyond just their, high school. Having that channel of players through junior golf and some of the things we do here, PGA Junior League, and then getting them involved in middle school. And there's really no forum for too many schools, but getting them out to play, getting them out to hit balls, and then getting them on the golf course is huge.
I feel like every year you're scheduling more and more golf outings. And as we know, 9 out of 10 golf outings are going towards a very good cause, whether it be, a fundraiser for an organization or a family that's going through a tough time, whatever it may be. But there's a lot of thought that goes into where you want to put your golf outing, because, you're getting a lot out of it. What's it mean to you that so many people are flocking to Mill Creek and they want to have you guys be that place where they do put up the golf outing that's going to raise a lot of money for a really good organization or a really good cause.
Well, it's good to know that they're thinking of Mill Creek, number one. Number two, we do about 80 outings a year annually here between both golf courses. We do about 45 leagues. So it's very tough to juggle in pretty much more than that. We've turned away probably 15 or 20 over the past probably 6 to 8 months. And I wish we had more room for them to come in, but we just have so much play here and so many leagues and stuff. It makes it very tough, but we're very strategic on where we put them. Like I said, the spring and the fall, we do have the most openness in some time frames, and we try to piece it in there the best that we can. But when you're doing about 90 to 93,000 rounds, it's very tough to fit more than what you have room for. So what we've done, in addition to having outings on North and the South courses, we've done probably about 6 or 8 at our par 3 course, which is a little bit quicker of an outing. You can get in and out 18 holes in about 90 minutes to a little bit over that, but pretty close to that. So we've had a lot of golf teams. We've had a lot of charity events being held at our par 3 starting about 2 years ago, where we had 2, and I think we're about 8 or 10 now. So between that and the leagues and stuff that are up there, we've seen a big flourishing when it comes to the game of golf and people interested. And it's always nice to stay at a place where the majority of the people are, on or around 224. So we get a lot of traffic and a lot of play. So to be able to host their outing, their church outing, or alumni or high school outing is pretty special, because it's a place that they grew up on. It's a place that they're familiar with. And I think our staff does a first-class job when it comes to running and making it as painless as possible to everybody that hosts an outing here. So, we're super excited that we get to do that, but I wish we could do more if we had more availability. But everybody's playing golf right now, and golf's in a great spot.
All that juggling should tell everyone watching how busy Brian Tolnar is, and we definitely thank him for taking time every week out of his busy schedule to come on Running Point. Brian, it's always a blast. Thank you again for coming on this week, and we'll see you next Wednesday, as always.
You got it. I appreciate it. Before we go, I just want to send our condolences to DJ and his family with the passing of his mom. They're definitely in our thoughts and prayers, and we really feel for DJ and everything that he does, and the relationship that we've had over the years. So we're thinking of you, and it's tough.
It's a tough situation, but the whole Ysn family has really proven to be right behind DJ, and obviously none of us would be where we're sitting without him. So I second that, Brian, and obviously we thank you for those kind words before you go. And once again, we will see you next week.
You got it. They're a special family, great group of people, and we love them.
Absolutely are, and we do. Brian Tolnar from Mill Creek Metro Parks, our golf guru, coming on, talking a little bit about high school sports and high school golf, and also giving us a great update on what Mill Creek is doing. And if you want to check out Mill Creek Parks, and whether you want to check out the recreation side or you want to go golfing at Mill Creek golf courses, make sure to check them out. There's no better place. You see their ads all over YSN. Not just Brian Tolnar, but the whole park system has been a fantastic sponsor for us for a while, and Brian definitely opened the door for that. But everyone we've met as a part of the Mill Creek Metro Parks since then has been a wonderful person and a wonderful people to work with. So we want to always throw them some light when we can. And we thank Brian Tolnar for coming on every Wednesday during the fall sports season. He's a very busy person, and he gives us his time very graciously. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we will recap the night from last night, a very busy night, a lot of scores to go over, and we'll do that when we come back on Running Point.
21 News delivers the news as it happens, using the latest technology from where it happens.
Live here outside the Mahoney County.
On air, online,
Wednesday afternoon weather update.
Very dangerous.
and on the 21 News social media platforms.
From on the road right now.
21 News, the Valley's only locally owned source for trusted news since 1953.
Craftsmanship to us is 60 years of pride and dedication.
Passed down from generation to generation.
The hardwood floors that your kids take their first steps on.
The solid wood doors you quietly close at night.
The things we create day in and day out are the products that end up turning your house into a home.
At Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods, uncompromising quality and craftsmanship built our business.
And it will keep us moving forward for generations to come. Going the extra mile at Greenwood Chevrolet means we want to take care of the community that takes care of us too.
And we have to work together always. And that's how you stay in business for 40 years.
You know, I love being a helper because when I help somebody, it makes me feel good.
It means a lot that I can make a difference in others' lives.
So I will do everything I can and just being there for them every step of the way.
I want them to know within the first 5 minutes that they could depend on me. That's what going the extra mile means, only at Greenwood Chevrolet.
Before the lights come on, before the workday begins, before a long day is ended, or it's time to have fun, it all starts with the people at Joe Dickey Electric. From replacing a light fixture in your home to building a substation for your business, no job is too big or too small. The people of Joe Dickey Electric power them all. Joe Dickey Electric, over 60 years of powering the Mahoning Valley.
As Comco celebrated 70 years in 2022, we have much to be thankful for. We are proud of the Comco culture as we serve our customers with Comco Care with our premier customer service, quality parts, and on-time delivery. The partnerships we have with our customers and our community are second to none. We thank you for your continued support. We are proud to be part of this community and will continue to offer great jobs for great people.
Change. This one word can make you break out in a cold sweat. But with change comes wisdom, experience, and understanding. At Myers Family Insurance, we can help make changes in Medicare, insurance, and retirement a positive experience for you and your family. We've gone through changes, like our new office and new faces to help our family of clients too.
For all your Medicare needs, call Myers Family Insurance. Check us out online at myersfamilyins.com or find us on Facebook.
Your culinary adventure awaits at Legends Food and Drink. Experience a welcoming ambiance while you explore our appetizing menu featuring over 20 meals under $20 and over 30 lunches for $12 or less. Our private dining room seat between 10 and 20 at no additional cost. And don't forget our spacious 35-seat bar for your favorite sporting event. Book your special occasion in our elegant banquet room that seats up to 150 comfortably. Legends Food and Drink, a taste you'll remember. Market Street and Route 224 in Boardman.
Welcome back to Running Point on ysnlive.com. As always, brought to you by our good friends over at Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown. I'm going to go ahead and put them in the top right-hand corner so you know where to go if you are in the market for a new or used vehicle. Nowhere better than Greenwood Chevrolet up there in the top right corner. They go the extra mile for you, and they've been a sponsor of this show since day one. We always want to give them thanks for believing in what this show could be. So we're going to do that. And while we are at it, let's read a 5-star review from Greenwood Chevrolet. This is one of many 5-star reviews that they get. Totally professional. Felt like I was important. The work was done very neatly and very efficiently. Absolute best dealership you could ask for. Couldn't have said it better myself, right? Absolute best dealership you could ask for. Hands down, no one better. Greenwood Chevrolet. They go the extra mile for you. And they are the presenting sponsor of Running Point. Let's hop into the scoreboard from last night, recap the action that happened the night ago on the volleyball and soccer fields. This scoreboard, as always, brought to you by Burnett Pools and Hot Tubs. You can see their logo right there. We thank them for bringing you this YSN scoreboard. If you are watching a game or at a game during the night and you want to check out the scores of other games, but you don't want to leave your broadcast or you don't want to spend too much time looking down at your phone, this YSN scoreboard is a great place to go. It is kept live every night, so you can check in on the scores, check in on what's going on really quick, and then get back to what you're doing. We start with volleyball. And we start with, Austintown Fitch getting a big win over a state powerhouse in Notre Dame Cathedral Latin. This Lions team has played in a multitude of state championships in Division II. They're a very good team. Fitch needed everything possible to beat them, and they did 3-2. But an even bigger night for Fitch because sophomore Riley Simons, just 4 games in to her sophomore year, got 1,000 career assists. She finished with 55 assists on the day. 55 assists in a 5-set match. That is a huge number for Riley Simon. She continues to just explode from the setter position. And, last year, a lot of people were asking what Fitch is going to do in the setting position. And they did not see Riley Simons coming, but here she is. And she's one of the best setters in the area. Contributing on the offense for Fitch, Jordan Smith had 24 kills. Kylie Folkwine had 20 kills. It's remarkable numbers put up. Afton Roby had 9. And then you had 8 from Afton Roby had 9, excuse me. You had aces everywhere, 1 ace apiece from Simons. You had an ace from Smith, an ace from Roby, an ace from Folkwine, an ace from Wilt. Really good serving team, spread out well. And then the digs category was led by Izzy Dorenzo. She had 29 digs. Jordan Smith had a double-double with her 16 digs as well. And then, like I said, 55 assists for Riley Simons, hitting the 1,000 assist mark in her career just in her sophomore season. Lakeside got on the winning side of things, no pun intended, as they sweep Warren Harding. United goes 5 with East Palestine, gets the win 3-2. We saw Hubbard go 4 sets with Howland and get a win over a big school. 3-1 the final score there. South Range dominated their way to a sweep in Poland. I was at this game and I got the first chance to see freshman Anna Toy, and let me tell you, South Range is going to be a problem. This freshman means business. She had 15 kills last night, had a double-double with 14 digs as well as I think 4 aces, if I remember correctly. South Range had 10 aces as a team. They served really well. And it all turned once that, about 10 points in the first set. 10 points in the first set. It was back and forth, tied at 5. And then Maddie Mook came up to the service line, and she served 16 consecutive service points. And from that point on, it was South Range's match. Third set got really competitive. Poland showed some fight, but down the end of the line, it was an ace. It was the story of the game. The serving of South Range did really well, and Sarah Coons got an ace to end it. So South Range gets the win in 3. That'll give them a lot of momentum going into the Girard game on Thursday. I talked to TJ Irons after the game. He pretty much believes that was one of their best games they've played yet this season, consistently aggressive on both the offensive side and on the service line. Played really good defense, dug up a lot of balls, and South Range seems like they're hitting their stride at the right time because they have Girard and Lakeview back-to-back in NEA play. So exciting to see what South Range can do against the league's best in the coming days. Wyndham and Bristol was not reported on, but we will go down to Crestview, who took care of business in Camel. Camel, a resurgent team. They came into this game 3-1. They were undefeated in the MVAC. Just 1 loss to Hubbard in the first game of the season. Maybe it could have been a tough one for Crestview, but no. Crestview wins pretty dang handedly. 25. I'm going to get the scores real quick from Coach Hour. 25-9, 25-11, 25-13. The final set scores: Abby M, 13 kills, 4 blocks. You had Grace Hour, 8 kills, 9 digs, 4 aces. Laney Hour had 3 kills, 10 assists, 8 digs. Grace Hour also had 17 assists. And then Julia Blasco had 5 kills, 4 aces, 11 digs. So a lot of things happening right for Crestview. We all know they're one of the best volleyball teams in the area, and they proved it with that last night. Lakeview went in the 88 and got another sweep as they beat Struthers 3-0. Ashtabula Lakeside beat Bloomfield, sweeping them 3-0. JFK fell to Mogador, a tough one for the Eagles, in 3 sets. We saw Southern take care of Valley Christian 3 sets. Let's see, Newton Falls fell to LeBray in 4 sets. Springfield sweeps Sebring in straight sets. We go back to the top and see that East Liverpool beat Brook for the second time this year. 2 matches. East Liverpool has won all 6 sets in pretty decisive fashion against Brook. They sweep them here in straight sets. Canfield spoils Mooney's home opener in a sweep. Lisbon gave Wellsville a heck of a fight, but Wellsville wins their 72nd straight EOAC game. They are absolutely the class of the EOAC. And even though Lisbon played extremely good defense, digging up balls everywhere you could look, Wellsville still had enough to put away the scrappy Blue Devils. Brookfield, they fall to Liberty in straight sets, 3-0. Liberty showing that they can bounce back nicely from the tough loss in Crestview to open up league play last week. Columbiana swept Latonia. Middle Ridge swept Waterloo. Girard sweeps Niles. Western Reserve sweeps McDonald. So those are your volleyball scores from a night ago. And by the way, we just kind of glanced over that Western Reserve score, but that is a huge sweep for the Blue Devils. This was for first place in the MVAC. Remember earlier they went 5 sets with Middle Ridge, and you thought that this was going to be just as good of a game. But they set the tone with the first set, winning it 25-10. The next 2 were competitive as McDonald kind of woke up, but in a magnitude game like this, you can't give away sets. That's just the reality of it. You can't give away sets. McDonald let Western Reserve get all the momentum early. They had to play on their heels the rest of the game. And even though they were competitive in sets 2 and 3, when Western Reserve's rolling and Eichert and Hughes are both swinging well, not much you can do about that to stop them. So Western Reserve sitting pretty through the first round of the MVAC. And we'll see how they do the second round when they have to play Middle Ridge and McDonald both again. But both of those will actually be at home. They went to Middle Ridge, they went to McDonald. So the hardest part, I should say, is over in Western Reserve's MVAC schedule. Boys soccer last night, Salem beats Crestview 2-1, a big one for the Quakers as they get a win, I believe their first win of the season, and another great defensive game for the Quakers. They play really good defense down there on their boys soccer team. United beats Ursuline by 2-1, the final score there. We had Mooney versus Canfield, just like the volleyball court. It was a good one this time on the boys soccer field, and it ends in a draw, 2-2, the final score there. Hoban beats Boardman 3-0. And then last but not least, Beaver Local beats Harrison Central handedly 9-0 over the Huskies of Harrison Central. Beaver Local looking really, really good. While we have the scoreboard up, let's look at tonight's slate and see what's going on around the area tonight in high school sports. Just 2 more days left in the month of August. And the volleyball and soccer, a little bit of a lighter day as Mondays and Wednesdays usually are. We do have both boys and girls soccer as well as volleyball as Edgewood takes on Maplewood in a non-conference matchup for the volleyball court. Jefferson tries to keep Grand Valley at bay. Grand Valley coming off their first loss of the year earlier this week. Ursuline East in the MVAC, Steel Valley Conference matchup. Heartland goes to East Palestine as the Bulldogs try to bounce back from a very tough 5-set loss. Canfield returns home. This is their home opener as they will welcome in Middle Ridge. And then Warren Harding travels to Niles tonight in volleyball. Boys soccer. Let's see. We have Garrettsville Garfield hosting Middle Ridge. We have Newton Falls hosting LeBray, and then Salem will be going to Canfield. And then on the girls soccer side, we have Crestview and Garfield going on. We have Salem and Canfield, just like the boys. That'll be a boys-girls doubleheader in Canfield. And then we have Warren Harding going to Hubbard, Ursuline going to West Branch, and then Mentor Lake Catholic will be going to Hoban. And another really important soccer game in the girls' side, the MVAC. Champion and Springfield are playing tonight, and that will be for first place in the MVAC early on in this season. So that's going to be one to watch. I believe that's going to be in Champion between Springfield and the Flashes. First place in the MVAC on the line. That should be a fun one. Champion's offense has been really, really good this year, and Springfield has been up to the task. They worked Crestview to a draw, and they're coming off a very impressive win over Brookfield. So they have everything to gain tonight. Impressive win over Waterloo, Waterloo, the reigning MVAC champions, 2-1. So a very good offensive team in Waterloo, kept it kind of in check by Springfield's defense. They're going to have to do the same thing tonight against Champion if they want to take the top spot in the MVAC. That'll do it for kind of what's going on tonight. Towards the end of the show, we'll go over and see what announcers are going to be where. But for now, we're going to dive into a coach's corner, actually, a volleyball preview with Ursuline head coach Nate Zunick. So I want you to enjoy this interview with the Ursuline volleyball head coach and get their season preview tonight, as Ursuline is in action tonight against East in the Steel Valley Conference. So let's hear from Nate Zunick from Ursuline Volleyball. Here with an Ursuline Volleyball Coach's Corner and a season preview. We're joined by the head coach of the Ursuline Volleyball team, Nate Zunick. Coach, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today.
Oh, of course. Anytime, Anthony. I appreciate you having me on.
You got it. Let's talk some Ursuline Volleyball. We'll start with your roster and just kind of a meet the team segment. Introduce us to your squad and some of the really big names that Ursuline is going to be featuring a lot this season.
Sure. So we have great senior leadership this year, as always at Ursuline. We have 5 seniors: Teresa Garano, outside hitter; Jordan DiNardo, outside hitter; Jenna Smith, a defensive specialist for us; Justina Kusick, who's kind of a utility front row player for us, can go everywhere; and Sydney Gozier is a middle blocker for us. And we're super thrilled to have all of them and their leadership for Ursuline Volleyball. We have a nice-sized junior class as well. Our libero, Maya Manning; our right side attacker, Carmen Boyd; our middle attacker is another one, Kayla Grope, is fantastic for us. Then we have some awesome girls, Nia Burney, Bella Thornton, and just fantastic volleyball players from top to bottom.
When you think of the leadership, which is the first thing you brought up, I mean, that's going to be such a blessing as a coach to be able to lean on so many leaders and have so many extra coaches on the floor out there for you. How strong is the leadership of this group, and how long can it carry you?
You know, that's one of the things we talk about always is, where can this team go? As I like to say, we're already a good volleyball team, but I want to get better and better and better. And the only way we're going to do that is by bringing it against each other, by having great competition in the gym day in and day out. And I feel like we're achieving that because of our seniors and that pushing our younger players and really demonstrating what it means to play Ursuline volleyball and what it means to be a competitive volleyball player. So then we can go compete on a nightly basis with the teams on our schedule. And now, moving up to Division II last year, one of our goals and our next steps is to go deeper into the playoffs, into the bracket. And the only way we're going to achieve that is by playing hard against one another. And our seniors are showing our underclassmen, how that's done by coming in and just working hard every day.
When you go to Ursuline as an athlete, no matter what sport you play, there's that tradition that goes with it, and there's that almost Ursuline mystique. Everyone's just going to give you their best game just because you're Ursuline. What's that like to kind of have that tradition on your back as a coach and now seeing it as players as well, and to be able to represent the Irish and so many great people that have come before you?
Yeah, of course. It's a blessing to be a part of Ursuline. With our faith that we have in one another, and the faith that we rely on as a Catholic school is a huge part of who we are. The girls, and my expectation for them is excellence. And we achieve excellence both on and off the court. Our girls are always studying, doing homework beforehand, uh, and getting everything done in order to get their mind clear and right to play good volleyball. But, our expectation is, in what I've been building over the past 4 years since I became coach here, is that standard of excellence and how we present ourselves, both on and off the court. And when specifically speaking on the court, is by playing hard volleyball, playing competitive volleyball, and trying to compete in every match that we play, and not focus too much on wins and losses, but just giving everything you have for your teammates, number one, and then for Ursuline High School, because of the reputation that it has and the people that have come before us, in the programs for every sport that every coach has put hard work in building, and everything that goes along with being an Ursuline Irish volleyball player or student athlete, is just, it's wonderful for me to be a part of. I know my coaching staff appreciates it as well. I have a really, really great staff as well this year. And we put in the work to try to produce a good result.
Let's talk about your schedule. We'll start with your conference. It might be small, but it's full of just teams that are big rivals for Ursuline and will always give you their best. Mooney, East, Cheney, of course. What do you see out of the conference this year? What's it like playing against those teams, and what's it like competing against the old school rivals of that Steel Valley Conference?
It's a lot of fun. I lived in Youngstown right after college for many years, and I went to YSU there. So, being a part of the Youngstown community for a while, it really shows in its athletes that are produced from the city itself. So, you get on a bus and you travel to East and Trini and Mooney, you're on the bus for like 10 minutes. And you're just going to these other schools that are right in your backyard, and you're competing well. And it's a lot of fun. It's super competitive. Every team wants to win whenever you go play each other, and that atmosphere just breeds good competitive volleyball.
The holy war between Ursuline and Mooney gets a lot of publicity in the football season, of course. It's one of the biggest games of the year. But every other sport takes it very seriously, too. What's that rivalry like from your perspective? Two really good volleyball programs are going to be good again this year. What's it like playing against Mooney twice a season?
It's a process that starts, I always tell the girls, the day before. Obviously, we know where they're at on our schedule, but we don't get ahead of ourselves. We try to focus on, who's ahead of us one game at a time. But, when the schedules are released and we get those, we definitely know when Mooney's coming up. We definitely know, what it takes to go ahead and put out a good competitive team to try to beat them every time that we play them. We set goals as a team every year. One of them, obviously, is to win the Steel Valley Conference, which means beating Mooney. And I know they feel the same way. And when we go to their place, it's rocking. The fans are in the stands. When they come to our place, the students come out and they support, and it's an electric atmosphere for the players, for both schools as coaches. There's nothing better for the sport to have that competitive rivalry. And us and Mooney, I don't think there's anything like it around the area. It's a lot of fun. And it's just like I said, just an electric atmosphere. It's great.
Let's talk about the rest of your schedule. Because of the smallness of the Steel Valley Conference, it gives you a lot of chances to go outside and beef up your schedule as much as you want, which Ursuline is never shy of doing in any sport. What are some teams that pop up on your schedule that you're excited to test yourself against, and excited to see what your girls have against?
Yeah, so being a Catholic school, we love to compete against other Catholic Christian schools. Heartland Christian is always a good matchup every year. We love to compete against our Division I teams like Austin Town. They're best teams in the area. They're great. So going up and kind of seeing how you match up against them is always fun. Canfield is always a big game for us. We get Hubbard this year. Hubbard's got a really good product on the court. So playing them is great. Jackson Milton always puts out a good competitive volleyball team. So those sorts of schools, like I said, with the way that our schedule lines up, you try not to get ahead of yourself, but those teams around the area are always good measuring sticks and fun to play. And, we give it our best for every team that we play, but, specifically some of the closer ones, and we're playing up divisions and things like that. So
every coach seems to look at the sport in a little bit of a different way and has different philosophies and things they like to do with their team or things they like to attack with. What do you think your volleyball philosophy is? What kind of volleyball do you like your team to play?
Yeah, so one of my philosophies is what we can control on our side of the net. It's not getting focused on what other teams are doing. So first and foremost, the number one thing I feel that you can control in the sport of volleyball is your energy that you bring to the court. So that's something that I've been stressing for 4 years. One of our mottos going into this, meaning we're always going to pick each other up, pick ourselves up. Everybody makes mistakes in the sport of volleyball. You got to shake it off and go back to play. It's a motto to live by. And I think our team is really embracing the controllables with themselves and us as a team. And, we've started the season pretty strong here, and I feel like we're going to continue that as long as we keep believing in one another. And as long as we stick together as a family, anything's possible.
Season has already started, so we're not going to ask you when your first game is, but when is your next game? When can Ursuline fans get out to you next and support this volleyball team?
Yeah, absolutely. Our next game is tomorrow night against Maplewood. It's at Ursuline. It's a 5:30 JV start. So Ursuline fans, I urge you to come out. And, the season starts rolling. We play Saturday at Salem, and next week is Steel Valley Conference time. We have East, Mooney, and Cheney. So
you bring it like volleyball is a grind. You're going to have 3 or 4 games per week. And one of the things I always love about volleyball teams is the fact that they're able to adjust on the fly, and they don't get practice in between games sometimes. How do you do that from your program? How do you kind of adjust without getting in the gym between games?
It's a great question. It's balancing. So a lot of it will stem from me and my coaching staff and the preparation that we try to put in. A lot of coaches, we all have huddle, and we try to share with each other so we can get a feel for, what we may be saying. We'll have some team meetings before we get on the bus. We'll have some walkthroughs here and there. Like I said, I tell the girls it's not so much what they're doing on their side of the court, it's what we're doing on our side of the court to put us in the best position. As long as we take care of our side of the net, good things happen.
All right, Coach, before we let you go, I want to give you the chance to shout out your coaching staff that you've brought up a couple of times, and who are the people that are behind the scenes helping you with this program.
Yeah, absolutely. So my coaching staff consists of Marcus Hayden, wonderful volleyball coach, has been around the area for multiple teams. He puts in a ton of work, one-on-one work with the girls, our small groups that we're allowed in the off season. He gets them in the gym, and is definitely a contributor to our success as a team and our future success as a team. My JV coach, other assistant coach, Millie Manning, wonderful volleyball knowledge, wonderful volleyball mind, has great insight, and really helps player development in the program to get our young players ready for varsity volleyball. And I want to give a shout out to Mariah Eisenbrod as our freshman coach. Also is a big help with player development and getting some of our youngest players in the program ready to compete at that next level.
All right, Coach, we want to thank you so much for taking the time to join us today and giving us a solid season preview of this Irish volleyball team. We wish you the best of luck all year, and we can't wait to get out there and see you guys in person and talk to you again real soon.
Great.
All right, that was Nathan Zunick from Ursuline Volleyball giving us the season preview. They have East tonight. They have Mooney tomorrow. The SVC now going to be in full swing for Ursuline as we talked about the grind of the volleyball season. Let's go over the announcers and where they'll be out and at tonight, where you can watch games on ysnlive.com/live. Eric Hughes will be doing Ursuline volleyball at East, so you can watch that one on the network. That's a 7 o'clock first serve, and then we will also have girls soccer. Matt Marr going to be in Canfield as Salem comes to town, and Zach Svensson will be at Hubbard for Warren Harding Hubbard. And I believe if Matt Marr is doing the Canfield girls game, he'll probably be doing the boys game as well. Ty Bartell has a Scrappers game tonight as they play West Virginia. And then there's also going to be the Camel Memorial Sports Show at Tavern 26 and the Canfield Sports Show at Coca's Pizza. Steve Leslie will be running the Camel Sports Show, and the Canfield Sports Show will be none other than our own DJ Oakley, our head honcho, our CEO, our boss man, Captain, my captain, all the above. He'll be in Canfield tonight for the Canfield Sports Show. The Cardinals trying to bounce back from a loss. So DJ will be talking to coaching staff and players about how to bounce back from that and how they're going to be focusing on week 3. So a lot of fun things tonight, and that'll do it for today's episode of Running Point. We will be back tomorrow from 1 to 2 on the show. Make sure to tune in. All the games and shows today and tonight can be seen on ysnlive.com/live.